The Medellin Cartel, late 1970s, Colombia. What started as small-scale cocaine smuggling quickly turned into the first true drug empire in history. By the early 1980s, the Medellin cartel controlled most of the world's cocaine supply. Planes flew nonstop from hidden airstrips in Colombia to the United States. Cash returned by the millions. At the center of the empire was Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar rose from a small-time smuggler to the most powerful drug lord in history. To the poor, he was a Robin Hood figure. To the government, he was a terrorist. He didn't just bribe politicians, he replaced them. Judges who refused to cooperate were assassinated. Police officers were hunted. Bombs exploded in city streets. Entire neighborhoods lived under fear. By the early 1990s, the violence had pushed Colombia to the brink. Escobar had made too many enemies. On December 2, 1993, Pablo called his son. Police intercepted a phone call and traced his location to a middle-class neighborhood in Medellin. Escobar fled across the rooftops. A brief gunfight followed. He was shot and killed. With his death, the Medellin cartel collapsed in blood. The first drug empire was gone. The Cali cartel, mid-1980s. Cali, Colombia. While the Medellin cartel ruled through bombs and public terror, the Cali cartel chose a different strategy: silence. Instead of explosions, they used money. Instead of street violence, they bought influence. The leaders of the Cali cartel built their empire by infiltrating the system itself. Police commanders were paid, judges were bribed, politicians received monthly salaries. Banks were used to wash millions of dollars every week. For years, the cartel operated almost invisibly. Cocaine moved through ports, airports, and shipping companies under legal cover. On the surface, Cali looked calm. Behind closed doors, it was controlled by one of the richest drug organizations in history. But the silence did not last forever. By the mid-1990s, pressure from the United States forced the Colombian government to act. Intelligence agencies began tracking phone lines, financial transfers, and hidden properties connected to cartel leaders. In June 1995, the first major arrest was made. One by one, the Cali cartel's bosses were captured. There were no shootouts, no escapes, no public executions. Just doors being opened by police, handcuffs clicking shut, and prison gates closing behind them. The Cali cartel did not fall in a blaze of gunfire like Medellin. It collapsed quietly, but its influence had already reshaped the drug trade forever. The Sinaloa cartel, 1990s, northern Mexico. When Colombian empires collapsed, Mexico became the new center of the global drug trade, and Sinaloa was ready. Instead of brute force, the cartel focused on logistics. Smuggling became engineering, hidden compartments inside trucks, underground tunnels crossing the border, cargo ships, private aircraft, even homemade submarines. For years, the cartel expanded quietly, taking control of the most important trafficking routes into the United States. Behind this empire stood Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Born in the mountains of Sinaloa, he rose from extreme poverty to become one of the most powerful traffickers in history. Unlike other cartel bosses, El Chapo avoided attention. He focused on control, discipline, and logistics. Under his leadership, the cartel expanded without open war, relying on corruption, secrecy, and precision. But power attracted enemies. Rival cartels began fighting for territory. Corruption inside the organization grew. Betrayals became common. When the cartel's leader was finally captured and extradited, internal wars erupted. Former allies turned on each other. Cities turned into battle zones. The empire did not collapse instantly. It slowly bled from within. Sinaloa survived, but its golden age ended in blood. Los Zetas, Mexico, early 2000s. Mexico. They were different from every cartel before them. Los Zetas were former soldiers, trained in military tactics and discipline. They brought battlefield brutality into the drug war. Public executions became messages. Mass graves became common. Entire towns were ruled through fear. Violence wasn't a tool, and it was the strategy. That same brutality became their downfall. The government responded with overwhelming force. Rival cartels united against them. Leaders were hunted, killed, or captured one by one. By the mid-2000s, Los Zetas no longer existed as a single organization. The empire shattered into fragments, leaving behind chaos, blood, and empty territory. Juarez cartel, late 1980s, northern Mexico. This cartel didn't control the streets, it controlled the border. Juarez became one of the most important drug corridors into the United States. Cocaine, heroin, and cash crossed the border every day. Trucks, trains, tunnels, everything moved through this route. For years, the cartel ruled through connections. Politicians were paid, police were silenced, rival groups were pushed out. But power attracts war. When rival cartels entered the region, Juarez turned into a battlefield. Assassinations, kidnappings, and ambushes became daily reality. The original leaders were eliminated or arrested. The organization fractured. Smaller violent groups replaced the old structure. The root survived, the empire did not.